Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, your undiapered car guy. Wanted to give you a quick look at the 2020 Lexus GX460, which is in many ways one of the last of the Mohicans in that it is still body-on-frame construction. And let's have a look. Yeah, you can hopefully maybe see there's the frame, and there's the pumpkin of the solid rear axle. Increasingly difficult to find in any SUV, and in particular luxury SUVs. Also, another thing that's getting hard to find, particularly in mid-sized SUVs, is a standard V8 engine without standard direct injection, which this Lexus has. So, a really appealing vehicle on those counts, and there's some more counts too. It's also one of the few vehicles that has the previous attributes that also has a third row. Power folding, because after all, this is a Lexus. So you've got an interesting anomaly here, and it's anomalous because it's a fairly old vehicle in terms of its basic design, which it shares with the Toyota 4Runner, and both of those date back roughly, I guess about 10 years now before any major change last occurred. But that is a good thing. If you'd like a simple, relatively, V8 with port fuel rather than direct injection, body-on-frame construction rather than unibody construction, solid rear axle, serious off-road bona fides, and a third row without having to upsize to a full-size Gigantosaurus. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you don't want to go off-road. But if you're going to go off-road, being a little bit smaller is a little bit good. Actually, it's a lot good. Something else that's good is that this thing is relatively narrow. I did some specifications comparisons between this and the Land Rover Discovery, which is in the same basic class, same basic length, but it's about 4 inches wider through the hips, and that's a difference that matters when you're off-road and trying to thread your way through some trees. One of the few little niggles that I'll mention with regard to this vehicle isn't so much the look of the Lexus Cowcatcher, they call it a spindle grille, but rather you can see how it kind of projects forward ahead of the vehicle, and also that, of course, like almost all vehicle front ends nowadays, it's made of plastic, and this would be pretty easy to damage if you did go off-road. Just a slight little bump against a tree. You can see how these little pieces here are really just kind of held in place by little connecting pieces of plastic, and I have no idea what this thing would cost to replace, but I bet it wouldn't be cheap. The 4Runner is available with a decoupling front sway bar. Wouldn't it be neat if they made it so that you could decouple or just take off the front clip pretty easily, or at least the grille, and toss it in the back so that you could go off-road without having to worry about crunching the thing? Anyway, I will have more up about this excellent vehicle that I commend to you if you're looking for the real deal, and you also want the real deal with a lot of luxury and with that third row capability, up at epautos.com, the web's best libertarian and undiapered gearhead site. Thanks as always for listening to the rants, reading the articles, and supporting the site, and we'll have more for you up on the site shortly.